with our very special guest tonight, Dr. Eric Pearl, and we'll be back with more with Eric in just a second on Coast to Coast AM. Eric, you were talking about a visualization. Tell me about that.
I was speaking about a concept of us allowing ourselves to be the fullness that we really can be, and part of which is for us to begin to recognize that we are 100%, not just in word, but in action. For instance, one way I demonstrate some of this during the seminars is if you could visualize a glass that is filled 100% with water, just filled to the top. Now, we could add water to it and add water to it and add water to it, but the glass will always only be at max 100%. 101% is a wonderful concept for a Hallmark greeting card, but the reality is 100% means 100%. That's why they came up with the word 100%. Right? Now, if we add something to that glass, anything, beautiful, not beautiful, let's say we drop a wedge of lemon into it. In order to get that wedge of lemon in, it would have to displace a part of that 100%, correct?
That's right.
Right. There are only two ways we can get that lemon in. If the glass was less than 100% to begin with, that lemon could help fill it to 100%. Or if it's already 100%, then we add the lemon to it. It displaces part of that 100%. That is what we are doing when we try to add something to ourselves to become better healers. When we put on a necklace that's designed to protect us from entities in the subway or electromagnetic frequencies or anything that it tries to protect us from, then we are saying that we are less than 100%. We need protection, and we're dropping a lemon into that glass and displacing a part of ourselves. When we decide to do healings and someone comes over with a serious problem, so we want to call over one or two of our healing friends to help us, they become lemons. We drop them into the water because we feel that they're helping us, and so they displace a part of ourselves. Every time we take out a healing technique or ritual or protection or an addition of any form, we're displacing a part of our own 100%, and we know this on a given level. Now, we might not notice it at the time when we're doing the work, but let's say, for instance, you take an overnight trip an hour and a half away to visit your brother and sister and your little niece and nephew, and you haven't seen them for a while, and you take them out, and you give them a little too much fun and a little too much sugar and a little too much candy, and at the end of the night, they have a tummy ache, and so, their parents give them a little Pepto-Bismol or something, but it doesn't really help, and you, of course, recognize that you're a healer, so you come in, and you want to do some healing work to help them. And you're about to begin, but in your mind you're thinking, oh, I don't have my special healing music or my special crystal wand or my healing friends or this or that with me. And so you start recognizing that if you had them, you feel you could be more. So you start to view yourself then as less than 100%. And the universe always says to us what? It says yes. So we function at 75%, let's say, and we don't really bring about that same level of help to our little niece or nephew who has the tummy ache, and we feel badly about ourselves. So we go back home, and we immediately put on our healing music and check the charts of our latest Reiki symbols, and we put on the bands and the protective, necklaces and everything, but still the experience itself has displaced a part of who we are. So we have to learn a new technique, and still there's room for more. What we have to really... what we are being offered an opportunity to learn is that we are 100%. And the only way to step into that is to step in feeling free of thinking that anything can help us, to step in feeling free from thinking that we need anything to protect us, from recognizing that we are already one with the universe. And, an example is every time we bring in a protection, what we're really introducing into the equation is the concept of fear. And fear creates more fear. So maybe one of the first things, right, so maybe one of the first things that we hear as a healing practitioner is that we should protect ourselves in a white flame. And we feel wonderful protecting ourselves in a white flame until someone walks up to us and says, Did you remember to bury it 1 meter in the ground so nothing got in underneath? Oops, here comes the next fear. So now we bury it deeper. Someone else says, did you seal it on the bottom? Someone else says, there's a purple flame too. There's also a gold one. Someone else says, but did you use the flame inside the flame to protect you from the person that you're with? And these fears begin to build. And as I was doing these healings, people were coming in from all around the world telling me, you know, call in this entity and call in that entity and call in Mother, Father, God. And then someone else says you have to call in the archangels. And someone else said, make sure you call in Jesus. So I'd call in Jesus. And someone else said, make sure that you call in Sananda. And I said, who's Sananda? They said, it's the star name for Jesus. I said, I already have Jesus. They said, you need them both. Pretty soon I'm walking around with a list of names, you know, Saint Germain and Saint Bernard. I mean, I don't even know who everyone is, all these people, and saying all these prayers and doing these rituals. And the more things I did, the less the healings were able to come through clearly and strongly. And at a certain point in time, I started realizing that all these fear-based practices and procedures were part of the limitation of us reaching 100%. And one day I let them go. I stopped shaking my hands off into the bowls of salt water and stopped spraying myself with alcohol and protecting myself with everything. And the healings came back up. They came back up as we they come back up as we allow ourselves to step into who we are. And, you know, there's always that first step away from who we are. And the thing is about these protections, they're given to us in the disguise of being love, when they're really love gift-wrapped fears. For instance, people say, well, we should, you know, I'll say to the audience, should we at least call God into the healing session? How many people think we should at least call God into the healing session? And a whole lot of hands go up. Right. But the obvious question to that then is God everywhere? And everyone, of course, says yes. And so, well, if God is everywhere, then where are you calling God in from? The airport? Right. I mean, is God everywhere on Sunday and shopping at Sears on Thursday? Is what we say on Sunday different than what we believe on Tuesday? Does our mouth say something? Do our actions say something else? And are we willing to challenge ourselves to step into the integrity of who we are as a human being? I mean, I say one prayer every morning pretty much, and the prayer is simply, thank you. I say thank you, and that's it. And I know that I'm in that right place. If you and I, George, were having breakfast, would you pick up the cell phone and invite me to the breakfast table? Of course not, because you knew I was there.
Exactly.
And we have to know, if we know that whatever we believe in, call it God, call it love, call it the intelligence of the universe, is there all the time. A tree doesn't have to, you know, call it in to grow roots. We're there, and we're present. And, of course, that's the simplest form, and that's the biggest challenge. But these things come in very complicated forms, too. I mean, some healing techniques say, you know, shake the negative energy off of your hands and move only in a clockwise circle and spray yourself off with alcohol so you don't have any residue from the healing sessions, and never eat anything while you're in the healing room or sitting on the healing table. And all these little fears build up and creep up within us, and yet they're really illusions that challenge us to step through them. And the fact is, if there is any residue left over on you from the healing process, the most that it is, all that it is the love and the beauty of the healing process of the universe itself. Just like when you climb out of bed in the morning from that one special person in your life and you go downstairs to maybe make them breakfast and you reach across the table for something and you catch the scent of their body still on your skin and you re-experience the warmth and the love you felt all night long. Tell me something. Do you really feel like reaching for a spray bottle of alcohol to spray it away?
You shouldn't.
Well, of course not. Of course not. So, unfortunately, our healing techniques, our healing teachers today are not all the masters that we have had before. Our healing teachers are masters pretty much at one thing, at getting us to come back and pay the money and come back and pay the money again, come back and learn more, come back and learn more, write me another check, my husband will be thrilled to deposit it, come back and learn more. And yet, if we look throughout the ages, the masters never tell us to come